Second question, in the second question, you're going to read an article and you're going to listen to a conversation, and then you have to report on what you've heard. Now here I strongly suggest that you take notes. And something I strongly suggest as well is that you practice taking notes in a stressful environment. Sometimes you create your own contractions for words. Sometimes people create their own symbols. I don't know, whatever you're going to do, just do it before the exam so that it's easier for you to take those notes. You have 30 seconds to prepare and 60 seconds to answer.
Read the article from a university newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to a conversation between two students.
Hey, Sue, did you see this article?
Yeah, I did. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Really? You don't think it's a safety hazard, like they said?
No, at least not during the day. I'm pretty sure both of those accidents happened at night when it's harder to see cyclists. They didn't say that in the article.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Sure it does. Maybe at night, with low visibility, there's a safety hazard. But I don't think there's any danger in the daytime, which is when most people need to move around and get to classes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Besides, it's such a big campus. If they do this, it's going to be really hard to get around.
Well, we can always take the bus, I guess.
But the buses only run once an hour.
That's true. They're not very convenient.
No, not at all. If people have to take the bus, we'll end up sitting around waiting for the next one all the time, and we're all too busy to waste our time doing that.
The woman expresses her opinion of the proposed policy change. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for holding that opinion.
If this were an actual test question, you would have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to record your response.
Now, when you're listening, pay attention to the reasons for the speaker's opinions. I made some notes when I read the article, and I also made some notes when Sue was talking. Now, you need to write down some key words and phrases, opinions, and why someone had this or that opinion. Now, all of this sounds like a typical American college. You know, in the US, for some reason, well, no one wants to be liable for anything. I'm going to start a timer for 60 seconds, and we're going to answer this question. According to the article, the university management is going to ban bicycles on campus because there have been minor accidents, and the management believes that bicycles can threaten students' safety on campus, and they suggest that students start using buses instead of bicycles. One of the students, however, disagrees with this new policy, and she has several reasons for that. Reason number one is that she thinks those accidents happen during the night when visibility is low, and she states that when students can see everything during daytime, there are no accidents, so why ban the bicycles? Another reason why she disagrees with this new policy is that the solution that the university suggests doesn't really work for her. She mentions that buses only run once an hour and the campus is huge, which means there will be a lot of waiting and a lot of time wasted. This is why Sue doesn't like the new policy, okay? Should be good. So here, you actually have the structure. Did you notice that? I mentioned what we've read in the article. I mentioned that Sue disagreed, and I also gave a couple of reasons why she disagreed. And then I wrapped up, this is why Sue doesn't like this new policy. That's it.
It's important to keep the reading summary to about 15 seconds. For question type 2, Most of the score comes from summarizing the listening task. So it would have been better to say, according to the announcement, the university will soon ban the use of bikes on campus, since they are a safety hazard and the free campus bus service is an alternative way to get around. It's also possible to shorten the transition to, the woman disagrees with this policy. Short and sweet. As in question 1, we don't need reason number 1. Let's change it to, first, she thinks that. There is no need to introduce a conclusion. Marina could have used this time to add more details. She could have mentioned that people really need to get around during the day. And the campus is really big. These are both details from the woman's first reason that weren't included in the answer. She could have also added, they're too busy to sit around waiting, to the woman's second reason. So it's all about introducing more details from the audio. Other than that, the organization is good. The grammar and delivery are excellent.
Okay, question number, how are you doing, by the way? If it sounds complicated, it's okay, you practice, all right? And also something that you need to remember is that if your English is intermediate, but you want to score over 100, which means advanced, on TOEFL, it is not a very realistic goal if you only have a couple of weeks, right? If your English is intermediate, but you need over 100, you need to stop your TOEFL prep now, take a general English course, improve your speaking in general, improve your vocabulary, improve your grammar, and then come back and do the TOEFL prep. If your English is advanced and you need to score over 100, all you need is like a couple of weeks to prepare for TOEFL, because you just need to get acquainted with the structure of the test, you need to get acquainted with what it looks like, with the topics, with the language, like, and then that's it, you just take the test. Okay, we're moving on to questions 3 and 4. They're more academic and they might cover topics that you're not familiar with, like psychology, economics, biology. Biology has always been hard for me. Or like ancient history. I've never really studied ancient history. And when it's in English, it's like a double threat for me. Anyways, we're all students here, so we're going to move on to question number 3 and 4. What I suggest for these questions and for TOEFL in general, read as many academic articles as possible, watch BBC, YouTube videos, watch TED Talks, just to get acquainted with terminology.